And it talked about terrorism, terrorizing. What it's trying to tell us is that instead of you carrying arms to terrorize anyone or to abuse anyone as a form of terrorism, it is better we build our capacity. We use our good behavior. I will tell you how to terrorize someone with your good behavior. A Christian had confronted me before and said, Imam, you are not behaving like a Muslim. And I said, how? He said, you are good. I said, meaning I've terrorized him with my behavior to the extent that she had to come out and say this. And I said, my behavior is the behavior of Islam and the Muslims, not the other way round. So let us terrorize them with our intellectual capacity. Let us terrorize them. This mosque is terrorizing a lot of churches on this axis. Not even on this axis. Yesterday that this mosque was officially opened, a lot of people were commenting and saying all sorts of good things, that this is another turning point in the life of Muslims in Nigeria. So it's a form of good terrorism. So let's terrorize them in a modest way. That is what our Sheikh just told us. Did I capture you? Thank you so much. I will go to Seyidah. I want us to have a mix of it. Our women, our mothers, they have been at the forefront of this project. I must tell you the truth. If you go and look at the level of involvement, for us to be here, while we are here, we're sitting down comfortably, is because they make that effort. So I want Mariam, Belgore. We're talking about women in the life of Muhammad and how he was able to, the moderation, how did the Prophet mingle, engage our women to the extent that they were so comfortable with the Prophet. They so like him. They are not deterred from him. They couldn't even detach from him to the extent that many of them want to be Ahlul Bayt. And vis-a-vis our contemporary challenges. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Brothers and sisters in Islam, my highly revered fathers here present and mothers, our very distinguished Sheikh, AHMAD, Mukhtar, BUKHARI, kindly permit me to stand on all existing protocols as I do not have the time to exchange pleasantries. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I've been asked to talk about the moderate practice of the Prophet when it comes to the women's perspective. First and foremost, I'd like to share something in this gathering. I would like to charge us Muslims, I would like to implore us as the Muslim Ummah to please always listen to lectures with the openness of our hearts. We have so many schools of thought in Islam. I personally, for one, shy away from such programs because my school of thought might tilt towards the left. We have 4 imams. I might be speaking more on the Imam Malik version of view, and you might want me to speak more on the Imam Shafi, point of view. So we have so many schools of thought, and I always charge us as Muslims to please always listen to lectures with the openness of our hearts, whereby you ask yourself certain questions. Why is this person saying this? What do I have to do with this message? How does it impact me as a Muslim and my immediate environment? If we have the basic answers to these questions, I believe we will understand that every ustaz, every lecturer, every sheikh, every imam has one goal, is to call us towards the path of good, is to call us towards Allah, is to make us closer to Almighty Allah. May Allah make it easy for us, inshallah. Now going back to our topic. When I saw this topic, there was an article I read a long time ago. It was on Google. It was posted by Al-Huda TV channel. And title of the article was what captivated me at the time to have read it. The article was titled, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the moderate. It was referred to as the moderate. And it was said in this article that our prophet lived a life that was well balanced. It maintained moderate actions in all its course. The prophet was neither tilting to the left or neither tilting to the right. It was always in the middle. It was able to be just in his actions, in his deeds, in his temperament, when he's angry, which I don't even know if the prophet was ever angry, when he's happy, in his dealings and interactions with humans. He is our guide. Somebody say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The prophet is our guide, our template, our manual, the best of all mankind that has led an exemplary life, an ultimate example for you and I to follow. When it comes to talking about practice, the prophetic practice for women, when it comes to practice in Islam, I believe there is no women practice or male practice. Because the Quran itself, at every point in time when God wanted to talk about our male counterpart, he follows it up with our female counterpart. You know, in Quran 33, 35, verse 35, when I was believing in a shaitan regime, Allah would say, Inna al-Muslimina wal-Muslimat. You know, it went on and on and on. It was neither on one side. It was always for the both of us. So when it comes to our practice, when I started researching on this topic, I found one thing missing. The reason why we are having problems in the society today, it is very simple. It is the taqwa, the fear of Allah, the consciousness of Allah that is missing in our society today. Be you a woman, my sister, or be you a man, my brothers, where have we put the fear of Allah? If we're able to go back to the basics, the drawing board, and we imbibe the culture of knowing, I've never seen Allah, you have never seen Allah, no one here has seen Allah, but we are aware of his majestic presence in our midst and within us at all times. So what we need to do is, we need to cultivate our souls. We need to live for Allah. We need to know that Allah is present, is within us. There was a time I had a conversation, it had to do with parenting with a group of women. And somebody asked me, how do you think you can be a successful parent? How do you think your own parents actually raised you and brought you up to have been a success story? And then I thought about it for a few seconds and I asked myself, why? All those days when we were in school, why didn't we used to go to the club? Why did I never drink? Why did I never smoke? Why did I never, I always tried my best to be upward at every point in time in my doings. It was not because I was aware of a lot of things going on around me, but I loved my father. A parent is the first God. Mothers, please listen. You are the first teacher for these children. The family is the smallest unit of the nation. When the family is grounded, the nation will be sustainable. The nation would then come together eventually to make our world. When our children love us, they will take everything from us. If you tell them this flower is eatable, it's artificial flower, but they will eat it because they do love us. My father showed us so much love while we were growing up. And the only thing I used to think then, back then was, how do I pay this man back? By not disappointing him. Simple. That is human. That is not even Allah. So if you are aware of Allah, if you know how big Allah and mighty he is, and you have the fear of Allah is not you being afraid of Allah. It's the fear that is birthed out of love for Allah. You need to understand Allah. You need to know Allah even before you worship Allah. The Quran has given us all of the things that we need, and the Prophet is a guide for us to understand how we're supposed to navigate through life through. So I always say to my sisters most especially, if you go to bed at all times with taqwa, you would have the intention to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to perform salah. If you wake up in the morning and you have the fear of Allah in you, you will not pick your phone first time to check Instagram or TikTok. You would want to talk to Allah first before you go about your daily affairs. When it comes to modesty in Islam, when it comes to moral standards and upbringing, conducting yourself as the beautiful being that you are in Islam. If you have the fear of Allah in you, you will be moderate in everything that you do. When you dress, how am I dressed? Am I tilting towards this place or that place? Okay, I can achieve a balance by just trying to be in the middle. So I charge us all today to walk on our faith, to walk on the fearness of Allah in our heart. Even our Quran says it in Quran 2 verse 2, that the scripture, no doubt, is for the ones that are conscious of Allah. it says, Alif Lam, but I was billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It's for you in your heart. The conscience of the book that he has brought forth for you is for the ones that are conscious of him. So I would charge us today to please go back to the fear of Allah. It will perfect everything that we need to do in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Muhammad Rosulullah. Thank you.